Head coach Antonio Pierce joins us. Coach, let's begin with Aidan. How tough of a football player he is from the thumb to the knee as we see what happens coming up here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, didn't look good at all. Obviously, whenever you see the cart come out there, you worry. But somehow, some way, he was able to walk in the building, and he's been around, and he's in good spirits, and we'll see how it plays out this week.
Yeah, he's a really tough guy that's been through a lot, but the leadership is what I wanted to ask you about with him. Thumbs up on the card and just with his teammates all the time, upbeat for the future.
Yeah, I think you can just see the concern from our team, our players, everybody. When one of your guys go down, especially your quarterback, Aidan's done a good job of being vocal, going in there, making plays for us. He's through the good, the bad, the uglies, not the starter, being a starter, he's always been the same. He's been consistent, and that's one thing I respect about him.
Big Mike, 7 for 68. Tell me about him and the growth of him as a route runner and what he's doing at the line of scrimmage.
Well, listen, all the attention goes to Brock, right? So now he's getting double-teamed, zones leaning towards him. And we knew it was going to come along, right? Once Mike got him back and got him in shape, got him going, you see the playmaking ability there, right? I thought he did some really good jobs down there in the fringe area, down the red zone on some third downs, blocking in the running game. But we knew we had a special player. That's always been there. I think there's just so much attention to Brock right now. You do kind of forget about Mike, but we have not. And I think that was a great job by our offense and Aidan and Desmond. When they came in, they got the ball to Mike, and he's been making plays. And we just got to keep feeding him to all our playmakers, but especially Big Mike because he's a big piece of the puzzle.
I want to ask you about your vision of this 12 personnel, 2 tight end set from Costa Mesa preseason until now. Is the light bulb going off for the fans when they see it click, when these two guys are humming and how it could build for the future?
Yeah, and I said it back in training camp to, our offensive staff at the time. Like, I thought our best grouping was 12 personnel. It was never 11. 3 wide receivers wasn't kind of in my vision. But, I think as we evolved and we got guys healthy and Scott's come in along with Norv and really implementing that and really finding the matchups because it's hard. How do teams play us? And every week we're getting a different look. Some teams play us like a base personnel. They bring in big bodies. And other teams bring in their nickel package, to guard these 2 tight ends. So the more and more we can do stuff, and I think even more we evolve in our 12 personnel, where we align these guys, right? How much can we move Brock around? Even Mike, are they in the backfield? Are they at the Z? Are they at the X? Doing things like that, that's going to create problems and headaches for coordinators.
There's a viral video of Jackson Powers Johnson throwing a player around there. I want to ask you about his strength. Yeah. What can you tell us about the weight room, his size? He's a young player who's going to grow into that body and obviously get stronger.
Yeah, we knew we had a junkyard dog.
Yeah.
We knew we had that kind of player. He loves the physicality of the game. He loves the finish. Got to slow him down at times because he gets a little aggressive, and this costs us a couple times on penalties. But I never want to slow a young guy down. I want him to be smart, but I don't want to slow him down. And that's the kind of mentality we want with our offensive linemen. That finish and, that physicality that when guys are down, we put them through and finish them. Because whenever we get this bad boy rolling and we're running the ball in that 4-minute period and we got a chance now to really impose our will, you want your linemen to play like that.
One more player I wanted to spotlight was Tre'von Moehrig in that game, especially at the line of scrimmage. I love when guys put their hands up if they can't get home to the quarterback and knock it down. So we've talked in the past in this studio about him in the box, recovery speed. But what does he do at the line of scrimmage to make guys miss so he can get in the backfield?
Well, first of all, a tremendous athlete. We all know that. The physicality with the athleticism, the skill set, I think the game has really slowed down to him now in year 4. Second-round pick, high expectations. And throughout the season, he's just been showing up each and every week for us, each and every week. And sometimes it's not the most glamorous stats, but it's all the little things he's doing well. But first and foremost, his physicality has really been a really bright spot for our defense. Because when you can put a safety down the box and you can bring him onto the back and you can get the pressure, and just like we did when we got that sack against Baker Mayfield, we get 2-on-1 on the back. We expect that play to happen. Bernie makes a hell of a play, sack fumble, and then here's Tre'von shining on the spot.
Let's get to the Falcons. Interesting run they're on in these last 4 games. You know how good of a team they are. Cousins, 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And what I ask you about with him, we know how good he is. If this was a young quarterback, maybe he'd go to the bench or they'd give him easier throws. Do you expect him to come in here and just be a gunslinger? Because the yards, he's 3rd in the league in yards, and he takes a lot of shots.
Yeah, he's a risk taker. That's why you see it. And they got playmakers all over the field now, tight end, wide receiver, running back. But here's a guy that's played in the league for a long time, right? And he's going through a rough stretch.
Yeah.
We're playing on Monday Night Football, the bright lights and all that stuff. So we're expecting the best of Kirk Cousins. Don't really worry about the pass. Now we got to keep that trend going.
Yeah.
We'll let us see that happen for the Raiders. 0 touchdowns or more interceptions, but we understand we're going to get their best.
Drake London has 116 targets and 6 touchdowns. They have 5 receivers, including their back in there, that have over 50 receptions. So he spreads the ball out well.
Yeah, I mean, like I talked about, between Pitts, London, Robinson, I mean, very dynamic group.
Sure.
I mean, tough matchups. We're sitting down here now just trying to figure out how do we stop them, right? And who do we take away with who? But I think it's also going to have to play into a big part of our entire defense, right? The front four, the pressure that we bring, mirroring up with the coverage. We got to do a good job of getting them off target, get them back in some second and longs and third and longs, so that way we can bring the house.
Bijan Robinson, 4.5 a carry. That's a pretty impressive number. He's about to get to 1,000 yards. So when you see him, he can catch the ball, over 50 receptions. What does he look like on film when you get the breakdowns of him?
Reminds me of Reggie Bush, guy that I played against.
Yeah.
I mean, very dynamic out the backfield, always making the first guy miss, can cut on a dime, acceleration. I mean, I can go on and on. There's a lot of adjectives about this player, and he's a very good player. And they find different ways. I mean, they'll line him out there at a Z receiver, and he's going against corners or screens or go routes. So we know we have our hands full with this gentleman. The one thing about it, though, we can't get him going. We're going to need 11 hats to the ball because, again, he's going to make the first guy miss several times.
Tell me about Raheem Morris. I always like asking you about coaching trees, where you came from, and you have a big one. He's special. He got 2 Super Bowls as an assistant with the Bucs and the Rams. When you look at him and his type of team, what do they look like?
Man, first of all, they're physical. Mm-hmm. They're smart. You can tell they love the game. They're passionate. You can tell that his personality is that what you see on the field from the Falcons. And the one thing about Raheem that, you always hear when you talk to him or you're around him, it's just a good person, man, good human being. And the guys love playing for him, regardless of the situation. They're going to go, balls out to the wall. And I think it's one of those things where, he's now, as a head coach, not calling the defense, but you can see his imprint. You can see, his footprint on that defense and their play style.
Last one, Monday Night Football. There's a lot of history in this building with that game. The Raiders dominated it for the first part of the broadcast when it came out. As a player and now as a coach, what does Monday Night Football mean to you? It's
special. Music going into the team meeting today was that theme song of Monday Night Football back in the day in the 80s and 90s. But you only show, on Monday night, and everybody's watching. I think it's special for us. We've done a pretty good job playing well on primetime games. I told our guys this is another opportunity for us to go out there and show up and continue to improve, man, and keep fighting. Keep fighting. This team is playing for a lot of pride. There's a lot left in the tank for this team to keep proving and getting better.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.